Welcome, this is MFT Raw and this is a review of the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. This is a tiny £329 waterproof 40 megapixel rival to the GoPro Hero 13 Black. And I'm really happy to have gotten my hands on both this one and the GoPro 13 Black. But rather than do a comparison straight away, I think that they both deserve their own video. I think they're both great devices. So I'm gonna review each of them first and hopefully be able to squeeze comparison in at the end. But I don't have these devices for much longer. I really haven't got much time with them, so I'm really working hard to get as much content as possible out for you. But anyway, if you're new here, we cover all the latest camera stories with our news show, but we also do reviews of the latest camera tech, from interesting smartphone cameras to mirrorless cameras, drones, latest cinema cameras, photo, video, whatever it is, we cover it all here because that's what we love. And if you share that passion, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We're a small channel, and we're looking to grow, we're looking to change that, and we can only do it with your help. So smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get on with this video.
Osmo Action 5 Pro. Let's go. Right, one thing I am interested in is how good these microphones are, because I'm not using any microphone solution, so once I start this bike it might be tricky to hear me, especially when we're moving along. We'll see how it goes. Please don't rain on me.
Yeah, I do think those mics are pretty good, but you can't hear anything while I'm riding. But if you do want to do some motorcycle vlogging, then you would need to get the DJI wireless mic setup, which I don't have here, unfortunately, but there is another audio solution that I want to try out. More on that later. So let's go through some of the specs of the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. This is what they call their next gen 40 megapixel sensor. This is a 1/1.3 inch sensor. This equates to a sensor with a diagonal measurement of around about 12 millimeters or just under half an inch. The sensor is paired with a 155-degree field of view lens with an f2.8 aperture. It is capable of shooting at resolutions of 2.5K and 4K at 120 frames per second and 240 frames per second in 1080p, and what they call high dynamic low light imaging, using AI processing to boost the exposure and reduce noise in low light. So one really nice feature is the 47 gigabytes of built-in storage, something that I think all cameras need to start thinking about doing now, although you would probably still want to get a micro SD card if you plan to shoot in anything other than 1080p. 47 gigabytes will get you a long way in 1080, but it won't get you much more than about an hour's worth of shooting in 4K. There is a nice, bright, responsive OLED touchscreen at the back and the front. This makes shooting yourself a little bit easier when compared to the GoPro, which only has a touchscreen in the back. It does have a screen in the front, but it's not touchscreen. Without doing too much comparisons to the GoPro in this video, the DJI is actually slightly smaller than the GoPro, but it has a bigger screen. The DJI weighs 146 grams versus 152. It doesn't sound like much, but I wanted to mention that because it is something that you notice. If you pick them both up in your hands, you will notice that the DJI is a bit lighter. Even though it's only a few grams, you can still pick it up. We've got a removable 1,900 milliamp hour battery, which DJI say is good for up to 240 minutes or 4 hours. I'm pretty sure that that won't be the case if you're shooting in 4K. So for my ride, I wanted to see how far it would go shooting at high resolution. And it did last for about an hour and a half. This is the multifunctional battery case from DJI. It holds 3 batteries and it's also capable through the USB port of actually powering the the DJI. So if you're on a long shoot, then you can plug this straight into the DJI Action 5 and it will keep going for around about 12 hours straight with a big enough SD card. £55 for this thing, which isn't a bad price, but you've got to factor in that you're not getting any batteries for that £55. Although if you do want to get 3 batteries with the case, everything is available in the many multitude of different kits that DJI provide for this device. Batteries are really fast to charge as well. 2 hours use you can get from just 15 minutes of charging.
Here we are. Beautiful view here. The beer festival. this is North Downs Way. Some pheasant over there. So yeah, I'm going to sit over there for a bit. Check out some of this footage. Maybe have a walk down North Downs Way. This opens. Yeah, it does. Look at that view, eh? I've even got chairs down there. Look at this. Oh, this is cool. Tide. What's that? Built upon time and tide. So here we are. We are on North Downs Way. And apparently this is a path that goes all the way to the coast, which is about 60 miles away in that direction. We're going to go all that way today. We're just going to have a little stroll down this path, see what we can find, and see what it's like to vlog with the DJI Action 5 Pro. And as long as you have this power handle with you, I think it actually does turn it into a really good machine for vlogging. See how good that high dynamic range is. It's exposing me as well as the quite bright sky. The sun's just behind those clouds, but the fact that it's able to almost correctly expose me and the background is actually very good. So look, there's a bunch of pheasants. Go and chase them. Probably can't see that. There is a zoom function though. So let me try and zoom in for you. It only zooms to 2 times, so you don't get a great, so you don't really get much digital zoom, which is, I think, is a good thing. Digital zoom can be really, well, it can be bad. I was almost swore there. It can be bad. So I usually stay away from digital zooms, but if it's only zooming to 2 times, then you're not going to get much degradation in the picture, especially when you're shooting at 4K.
Another accessory that I'm really enjoying is the power handle. For £85, you get a 4,500 mAh battery to power the Action 5. Considering the 4-hour runtime and the regular battery capacity being about 1900 mAh, this should be able to keep you going for about 14 hours. More than enough for a day of shooting. The handle attaches to the Action 5 Pro with their magnetic clip system, and they're really quick and easy to use. It also has controls for the camera, such as start, stop, switching modes, etc.
So the Action 5 Pro uses 3 microphones to produce stereo sound, and from what I've heard of them, they actually do sound pretty good. But if you want to improve the sound, you can do via the power handle that I'm using here. There is an audio input on the back where you can plug in any microphone to get better sound. So on the back of the handle there is this little flap. Lift up the flap and there is a microphone input and USB-C for charging. Let's plug this in here. When I plug this in here, I'm probably going to lose sound because I'm using the 3 mics in the Action 5 Pro at the moment. But when I plug the wireless go in, it should hopefully switch. Yeah, there you go. So now I'm using the Rode wireless mic. So let's keep going.
So here we are in log mode, D-log I believe it is. So this mode is for when you want to color grade your own footage. Sorry that I'm looking down a lot, but there's a lot of cow pats on the floor. I'm trying to avoid them all. I think I've already stepped in about 5. But yeah, D-log video. We are shooting in D-log video and shooting this way, although it looks a bit flat at the moment, when you're editing in post, I'm sure most of you know this, but when you're editing in post, you'll be able to recover more highlights, recover more shadows, you'll be able to play with the image a lot more before it just starts to fall apart and break down. So if you're serious about getting good image quality, you really should be shooting in log, no matter what camera you have. If it's, you know, like my use case with these devices is just strapping it to my helmet to record my ride for safety more than anything else. I mean, I'm not a moto vlogger, but if you're that kind of user, then just shoot in its lowest mode. Shoot in 1080p, it will give you the most battery life, and you know, you're not really concerned with the image quality. But if you're a filmmaker and you are serious about trying to use this device for filmmaking, or even just for, you know, YouTube videos or whatever, you just want it to look good, then definitely shoot in log mode. Yeah, okay, I know I said that I wasn't going to compare these two, but I'm here, I've got them both in my hand, they're right next to each other, so let's compare the video and the photo performance between the DJI Action 5 Pro and the GoPro Hero 13 Black. Straight away you can see that the DJI has a warmer tone to its picture. They're both shooting here at their highest resolution, the DJI being 4K, the GoPro being 3.5K, and you can see the extra resolution in the GoPro image. It is definitely sharper. But really, when it comes down to it, there is very little in it. I can't see anybody being disappointed by the image quality coming out of either of these two action cameras. When it comes to photo, again, I'm preferring what I'm seeing from the GoPro over the DJI. Neither of them are really very good at taking photos, truth be told. None of them are going to be better than, say, a high-end smartphone. But after scrutinizing the photos a little bit, I realized that the GoPro does have a better quality of image. The 50 megapixel sensor in the GoPro does seem to produce better images than the DJI, which is a little bit confusing to me because the DJI does actually have a slightly bigger sensor than the GoPro. This seems to be a battle between hardware and software. The DJI hardware technically is better, the larger sensor, the 4nm processor, making it smoother and faster. But then versus GoPro's software, which is more developed and more intuitive to use. It is definitely a tough choice between these two. For me, if I had to choose between one of these, it wouldn't be down to its image quality. It would be down to its battery performance, its handling, the interface. There is definitely some delay though, especially with certain functions when you're using the GoPro. And I didn't come across that hardly ever with the DJI.
Right, so that's it for my test of down at South Downs. I'm gonna head back now. I hope you enjoyed my video. And I'm gonna leave you with some random riding shots.